Jimi Hendrix burned his guitar on. Like, the spot was still there on the stage. You're not allowed to walk on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, come one, come all, welcome to the Riffs and
Rhythms Podcast.
And I'm Kevin McLaughlin.
And I'm Paul Robertson.
How you doing, Paul?
Doing great. Doing great.
We've had a couple of weeks in a row of all kind of stuff going on.
We're just trying to end this year on a hard-charging, rock and rolling, everything but every way but loose.
Yes, and at this point we have pierced the barrier of December.
That's right. That's right. So it's still trying to get over the aftermath. The last episode we titled it the Festival Aftermath because again
it was
we recap, but I think we're still aftermathing.
Well, seeing the footage now that it's available has brought back some of those aches and pains.
Yes. It was a long day. It was a great day. Weather was great. Everyone remarked. Again, it was a great. Again, looking forward to possibly more. I think though, but I do want to real quick though before we get too far along. I don't want to forget this. So I want to kind of give you a little bit of recognition somebody shared, and I'll tell you who actually shared this little bit of information with me because I forgot to mention it last week. Because again, there was just so much to digest after the festival last week's show, but you got a nice little recognition there from Russ talking about, when Russ and Dez from AOMOV, the Moment of Violence, right? Those AOMOV guys, they were on the podcast and Russ had talked about how he learned a lot from you about, not sticking your head in the
character of his voice and how to use a microphone on stage and all of that. Yeah.
And he had mentioned, he talked again about how you told him, says your voice is within this hertz range. And he took that. And then now whenever he does shows and the sound guy comes up and he goes, just put me in this range and you'll be fine. And the sound guys are like, how the hell do you know that? He goes, because, somebody told me very early in my career. And it just, again. So that's a nice little recognition there for you.
Russ is great. Yeah. Russ is great.
That's why I said Kevin's in charge of all the sound stuff. I'm in charge of all the booze stuff. And then there we go. That's equal parts support, right?
Yeah. Well, Russ is a great guy. When singers have issues and they're jerks, I just let them suffer. But when you're a good guy and a genuine, cool person like Russ is, I gave him a few pointers so that he could avoid problems in the future, and I'm glad it worked for him.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. 3 bands now. So he's got a Moment of Violence Super played at the Noxx and Dunn Riffs and Rhythms Festival, right? So definitely check those guys out. They played an amazing set. His 80s cover tribute band, Metal-Luscious.
Great
band.
They played at the 30th anniversary
St. Lucie Draft House.
Yeah. And I saw some film of that, Russ with his light-up shoes. So
he should have. It would have definitely thrown everybody off if he actually dressed like that character. He's like, I don't have time to change to go from the festival to the St. Lucie Draft House, and performed in his 80s gear. But then he's also in a Linkin Park band too.
Is he really?
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
Yeah, he just joined that recently, and I think he's playing at or something to do with Chris from Bottoms Up, Public House. Our good friend Chris, our mobile bartender guy. So I guess the Public House in Fort Pierce. I think they're actually doing an event there with the Linkin Park band.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. So yeah. So anyway. So enough talk about Russ. So, but yeah, I just want to kind of give you a little recognizing something good. These little tidbits of conversation that we had at the festival with, talking to the musicians here and there behind the stage, all around and all that. It was a really cool event.
I've gotten into sharing knowledge because if you just learn all kind of stuff and then you let it all die with you, like where are we going? We're going nowhere. Like things that I can benefit the world with, I do it. I just made a mark about this big, but if I can help somebody with something that I know, why not spread it around?
Oh, what are we spreading around?
We are spreading around the fact that we got a guest in here.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We
do have a guest in here. And I'm very. Can I go ahead and?
You're gushing here. Yeah.
I've known this gentleman for even longer than I've known him.
Wait a minute.
His reputation preceded him way back in the day, And over the years, I've gotten a chance to perform with this gentleman in a number of different projects. And he's always just quietly and expertly nailed it every time. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Bill Bedwell in the room.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So what's up, man?
I'm glad. I'm like really super happy that the concert turned out well. You know, that the Riffs and Rhythms, that was awesome to sit there. I was there for a couple bands before us, and I was blown away because these are the same guys that you see out there doing covers, playing in nightclubs, and then they come and they do their original stuff there. That was amazing. Just the talent that these guys had. You know, I had no idea that Dean. I didn't know how to play guitar.
It is weird to see somebody who's known as a drummer to be up there singing and playing guitar.
Right.
Weird.
Right. That blew my mind. And I was like, hey, that's pretty good. I dig it.
We have our first rhythms convert.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
He's converted to the riffs.
I think he technically started on the rhythms first.
And then once he knew better, he switched.
Which, speaking by the way, if we want to get real technical here about our guest, actually our guest is a rhythms guest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, technically the piano is a percussion instrument.
It is.
Yes,
yeah.
that's true.
And depending upon how you approach the keyboard like I do, it could be definitely a percussive instrument because, like, I learned when I first started, I was like 16 years old. I was playing in a nightclub. I was not supposed to be there. I was way too young, but I looked like I was 21. And I started off playing with this guy who played a Hammond B3 organ. He was a one-man band. He played the bass with his feet. He changed the volume with his right foot, played the bass with his left foot, played the bottoms with his left hand, played the tops with his right while changing the drum patterns and singing, and with no music in front of him whatsoever. He knew almost every song anybody ever came up and popped up with.
Wow.
And I was playing trumpet at the time. That's my main instrument. And so being on stage with him and watching this guy just go waka, 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 on a Hammond B3 organ was blowing my mind. I was like, that's the funkiest thing I've ever heard. And it grabbed me. So that's why that's why I do keyboard too, you know, because I watched, you know, him do that for so many years. It was so funky.
But the keyboard's not your first instrument, is it?
No. I started off with trumpet when I was in middle school and then all through high school. And then after high school, I went and I played with the United States Army Band. And then after I was stationed at Fort Ord, California with the 7th Infantry Division. And after I came home, I came back home to Florida. And from there, I just had to keep on going. So I started off with Up All Night, if you remember.
I do. I was in that band.
Yeah.
I was one of the original members of that band.
Yeah, Up All Night, Lenny Albanese and all that.
And he got rest his soul.
Oh, man. So, yeah, started off with
Quite a
this.
character. I've got a Tales from the Road about that guy.
Good. I was actually hoping. I didn't know this, so I'm glad you're here, Bill. We're gonna get some dirt on Kevin. So give it to me, man. I want to hear some.
Oh yeah,
stories.
there's no doubt that there was lots of talk about me by the time Bill got in the band.
It goes back deep, man. So, but yeah, after Up All Night, and what was Boss Groove, I think, right after that.
Yeah, Boss Groove.
Boss Groove. Yeah.
The Treasure Coast's hottest dance funk variety band for many years.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We used to just tear downtown Stewart apart, man. You know.
I remember
so
going into the Ashley, and you couldn't go in because people were popping out the front door. It was so packed in there.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Those are good times, man, for sure. But, you know, when we were talking about earlier, too, you know, when we want to really take it back, one of the first gigs after Up All Night that I worked with you it was with Jackie Jean.
Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot about that one. Oh man, I've played in more bands with this guy than I even know.
I pop up all the time, man. Like he'll be in a recording studio, and I'll come walking in with my horn. Oh, there's Billy again.
What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
I think my reference, at least to Kevin, is probably anything prior to what he's done as of right now is Big Pine. That's about as far
That's
as I
as
go.
far back as you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
There's a couple before then.
Jackie Jean. That was a really nice project you had going on with that too. And
That was a great. That's how I met Dave.
right, and then after that was Captain Sam Crutchfield.
Yeah, the fishing musician,
Right,
Captain Sam Crutchfield. There's another funny story about that too.
road stories.
Yeah, but not about Sam. It's just having to do with Sam. It's when I met Jimmy Buffett. But anyway,
Well,
keep getting reminded of stuff.
yeah.
Wait, you're in a band with Jimmy Buffett?
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
it'll
Yeah.
take a minute to tell a story, but
Yeah, well, Jimmy's not going
I don't wanna
to here to
it's-
kind of
it's Bill's
say
time.
otherwise.
It'll take a minute because he has to think about it. He has to
Okay.
make it up.
so back in the day when I was still doing sound for a living, when I got picked by Sam to be his music director, and Sam Crutchfield, his thing was like, oh yeah, me and Jimmy were tight. You know, Jimmy Buffett did this, Jimmy Buffett did this. You know. So I'm doing sound in Miami for this Haitian band from Haiti, and they were on Billy. No, you're Billy. They were on Jimmy Buffett's record label. Was it Island Records or something?
Yeah.
And Jimmy and his number one guy were sitting at the booth. And I was telling all the guys, because as a tech, you can't go talk to the stars. You just can't. And I'm like, I got to go over. As soon as I get a chance, I'm going to go over and talk to Jimmy Buffett. Everybody's like, no, you're going to get us fired. Don't. So I walk over there, and I'm like, hey, man, you're Jimmy Buffett, right? And he's like, and all I said was, you know a guy named Sam Crutchfield? Because he talks about you all the time, and I just want to find out if he's for real. And they were like, oh, yeah, we know Sam, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, thanks, man. I'll let you go back to your thing.
Yeah, I think they were on a fishing boat together for sure.
Yeah, So Sam was totally for real about it.
Yeah, Sam was. Yeah, he wrote the song "Coyote Ugly," and it was taken off there for a while too. And so I got tapped to play piano with Captain Sam Crutchfield and myself and Kevin and another friend of ours, Vinny.
Vinny and Karen and Chris.
Vinny, Karen, and Chris. We all we were asked to do what was that one? Oh, it was at the Science Place up in
That was at Harbor Branch.
Harbor Branch.
He played in the Harbor Branch Theater.
And what blew my mind was when we're playing and he pulled out what do you call that? The fishing pole, the fly fishing pole. He started whipping this fly fishing pole and had that line going like 50 feet out over the top of the audience while he's singing this song and we're playing the music. I'm like, this is crazy. This is cool. But then he asked us, he goes, hey, I got this other gig. It's out on this little island called Catalina. And I'd been out to California already. So I was like, okay, that's off San Diego coast. That's quite a ways out off the water. Okay, I'll do it. So we left from Florida to go do this, and my plane ticket stopped at Dallas. It did not go forward to California and I was like, whoa, and I was stuck there for a minute.
Oh, so you mean he didn't just pay? That's all he could pay was to get to Dallas.
It
No.
was an oversight on the
okay.
secretary's part.
Yeah, the
That was the story.
Right, the secretary for the mayor of Catalina Island, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
think-
Somebody's secretary
'Cause-
dropped the ball.
Because Captain Sam Crutchfield got on the phone, and next thing you know, he's talking to the mayor of Catalina Island, and they're on the phone with the airlines, and they're like, get him on a plane. I was like, wow.
Wow, okay.
This guy has some power, right? So we go out to Catalina Island, or land in San Diego, get on the boat, head out to Catalina Island, and it was so beautiful. It was like, the island is like, 4 miles wide, 12 miles long, something like
Yeah,
that.
something small.
And it was incredible because the scenery with all the seals and everything else, like, it was just beautiful there. And we decided, let's, I want to go for a walk. I want to check out the island a little bit. I left my hotel, and as I'm walking up the street, I see this sign that says property for sale. And as I'm looking at it, I'm also looking at a cliff that's going straight up. And I'm like, what property are you selling? Because unless you're going to live, like that vertically, it's kind of, well. So I kept walking, and I saw where on the island they dig into the sides of the mountain and build the houses. So that cliff was for real. They were like, you can buy this cliff.
Jesus.
Yeah, right. So as I'm walking along, I see this guy. He's putting his groceries in a cart, and he has this lift that goes up to the top. And I was like, where exactly is this going? And he's like, oh, third floor kitchen. I was like, so this guy, it must have had like 5 floors. And then come to find out, it was the Wrigley house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the Wrigley.
Yeah, the guy.
gum.
Like Wrigley Field and Gum, yeah. Yeah, they own the whole island.
So I'm talking to their chef basically, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then the other cool thing that happened on the island is we ran into Kenny Wayne Shepherd, who was he was brand new. He probably just released his first album and wasn't even big
He was
yet.
a teenager.
Just a teen. And he was warming up at this
Catalina wine mixer.
yeah.
No, it was the second biggest venue in the town. And
Yeah.
we were like, what? It's like Friday night. What do you do around here? And they're like, oh, you got to go see the kid. He's playing. And so we went.
Yeah.
So hold on. So you saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd before you knew who Kenny Wayne Shepherd was.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow. So
And he was literally he was just this tall. He was like 13 years old.
So this is before Blue on Black and all of this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Wow.
just
That's yeah.
smoked that guitar. It was incredible to watch him play. I was like, this kid's gonna be something.
Yeah, we walked backstage,
Yeah.
hung out with them, ate some of their catering.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. No 13-year-old's gonna say it's like,
Oh, well, they were excited to talk to us because our gig was at the place called the Casino.
Right.
And they were like, we've been trying to get in there for years. How are you playing there? I don't know. We just got a gig.
Yeah, this guy does a song called Coyote Ugly. And they're like, what? So, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 100th anniversary of the Tuna Club. That's what we were
why.
playing for.
That's right. That was,
that's crazy.
that's how I know Kevin. These little side trips that we've taken, and we had a good time on that island, but almost too good of a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how far back are we talking here? In the 80s, I guess.
No. This was in the late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'd already known Bill for a long time before then.
So Bill, have you? So let me back up a little bit. So you you've been in Florida how long now?
I was born.
life?
Born and raised here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Except for when I was in the military.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. So,
Oh,
yes.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
So yeah.
So speaking of Florida, there's a conspicuous lack of anything in our glasses.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's mostly water.
And so I've got a short story. It starts out with bitter disappointment, but it ends up with triumphant awesomeness. So Tracy and I were driving around the St. Pete area, and we were trying to find a place to eat lunch. And we come across this place that it just says music, food, liquor, and I'm like,
Bingo.
That's me.
we turn in, and they got this super cool setup in the back, and we like the place looks abandoned, but it's this giant complex, and there's one really nice, well decorated door. So like I didn't expect it to open. We walked up there, and I pulled on it, and we opened, and it was a tasting room for the St. Petersburg Distillery, which it was beautiful in there. And we're like, "Do you guys sell sandwiches?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "Dang it."
You got a sandwich?
But they do sell this stuff.
You had me at food.
We got a presentation that was very
Oh.
professional and Disney-like, and we got.
Step 1, you cut a hole in the box. Step 2.
I did a Chris though. I drank some.
Oh.
We've got batch number 1 of Old St. Pete straight bourbon whiskey right here,
Oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
Okay. All right.
made at the St. Petersburg Distillery, and Old St. Pete rum and spice.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not like the children drink. It's not spiced rum. It's rum with spice. Which, when you take some, or when you drink it, you'll be able to tell the difference. Florida rum.
Ties in.
You can tell it's Florida because if you've grown up in Florida, you know what Florida water tastes like. They use water from Florida in this, and it actually adds to the taste.
So again, just as you're getting ready to pour there, I'll pour a little bit of this, and then if I can cut this open. Oh, we'll come back to this because I don't have a knife here to cut this open.
It's got a child-proof.
Yes, but I do want to make a note of the rum. There is it's being spiced. It's 86 proof,
Okay.
which is most people are familiar with
Got my rum key.
Captain Morgan, and Captain Morgan's a spiced rum, or Sailor Jerry, and they're not even 80 proof, right? So
Exactly. So it's not spiced rum. It's rum with spice.
right. So
Wow, this is
okay.
tighter than I thought it was. Anybody got a?
Well, that's what she said.
No, that's not.
But
Oh, here we go. I'm making some progress.
There you go. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
that was. Oh, look at that.
You got it. Nice
There you go. I loosened it for
There
you.
you go. Thanks. All right, here we go. Let's see.
Bill, you want some?
yes, please.
Will you push that over here?
Oh, nice.
Here I come.
Oh wait, I think I can reach it.
Here I come. Okay.
Ooh, look at that color. Holy cow.
Once you're in the couch, there's no leaving the couch. Just stay. You'll
Oh,
take your
I can
bourbon.
smell
you're
that
gonna
rum from
like
here.
it.
Yeah.
It smells like candy. Devin, rum or whiskey? Oh, you got it.
She's gonna. We'll come back to you.
Vodka.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
But I think did you tell me that they also make vodka too?
They do make vodka.
Oh.
They make a SoCo kind of a drink. They make what else do they make? Gin, and a couple different kinds of whiskey. They make some good stuff.
That is very smooth.
Yeah, made in Old St. Petersburg, the Old St. Pete Distillery. Yeah, this is batch number 1, bottle 1,875.
Very tasty. It's got good flavor.
Bill, would you like ice?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Bill's like smooth.
Sure.
Super smooth.
Oh.
Yeah. Ice would be great.
Bill needs some ice. All right, we got to reach go do a reach across there.
There you go.
Ah, look at that. The magic of Hollywood.
There you go. So, so you just said you just stumbled across the distillery here.
Yes, and Reese, thank you, Reese, for your expert and knowledgeable explanation. I mean, she explained it so well, you've actually made it taste better in there. And I'm looking forward to creating a relationship with St. Petersburg Distillery. I think we could do some cool stuff together.
Sounds like a plan. I love it when a plan comes together.
It's so Florida that even the barcode is shaped like the state of Florida.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
I really like this whiskey. It is bourbon style whiskey, which they get flack sometimes because it's called bourbon, and technically it's not supposed to be bourbon unless it's made in Bourbon County.
So it's
Rum or whiskey, Devin? He held up an empty
Whiskey.
glass. But it is truly bourbon style whiskey, and that's my jam, as Brad would say.
Bourbon.
Gracias.
Bourbon, yes. But
So-
it's got its own unique character. It's really, really good.
So, okay, so there it is. So 90 proof.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this is batch 1. So is this like a new release they've done? Or?
Relatively new, yes.
Okay. All right. 4 years barrel aged. Okay. So you definitely get probably. I said I haven't. So again, I'm having the rum, so I will try the bourbon here next. And
They've got an expert blender,
okay.
and all of
Is it
the
a Ninja?
spirits- Yep. All of the spirits that I tasted there were of top quality.
How long were you actually at this distillery?
It was at least an hour, 90 minutes.
It only took you 90 minutes. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're a professional. Yeah, that's right. I
She
forgot.
was giving us the entire history of everything. And I keep saying it. Like, forget about that little island out in the Caribbean where they make the rum. Florida is where they're making the rum.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
I mean, that whole Tampa area is very, Tampa St. Pete is very unique because of a lot of Cuban influence, because a lot of Cubans had come to Tampa. Ybor City, where all the cigars were still being made today. You go down there and find a lot of cigars. So it doesn't surprise me, So maybe we should go over there during Gasparilla Fest. I've never been, but
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, so Tracy says she has.
It's good? All
So,
right.
so we got any tales from the road?
I have
Tracy?
a good friend that goes to Gasparilla every year. They say it's awesome.
What is Gasparilla Fest?
It's like
a pirate orgy.
it's kind of like Florida's Mardi Gras. That's what I've heard.
Gotta go.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm getting like little bits of notes of like brown sugar at the tail end of the aftertaste. This is so good.
Interesting. Yeah.
I thought I saw the Florida version of Mardi Gras down in Key West, but that ain't it.
Gasparilla Fest is better than that?
I hope so.
So Bill, you're saying that you've been to Fantasy Fest?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a whole new
Well,
tales from the road now.
But here's the thing about Fantasy Fest, and it's a two-edged sword. It doesn't matter what you look like. It is a festival dedicated to nothing more than being naked in the streets. And everybody does get naked in the streets. And it doesn't matter if you're a supermodel or they have, or if you're 800-pound, crushing couch personality.
So-
you can still walk around naked, and everybody's cool with it.
Wait, didn't Bowie and Jagger do a song called "Naked in the Streets"?
Yeah.
Am I mixing that up?
No, it was a Roy Orbison tune. They they
Dancing in the
repurposed
Streets?
it. Yeah.
Dancing in the streets naked. Well,
Naked in the streets, and Van Halen did it
Yeah.
too.
That's right. Oh, that's right. That's right. We're in Key West, naked in the street. Never mind. He told me this last episode. He told me not to sing.
I mean, I just went there to go scuba diving, and then,
Oh, really?
well, then
Oh,
there
you didn't know that was going on?
no.
Oh,
Maybe it was just a
yeah.
regular Tuesday.
and yeah, geez.
Well, we had wondered why the price was different, but for the hotel and all that stuff. But
so that's
yeah,
what you call going down on somebody scuba diving, huh? Oh boy. Okay, now we were loosened up a little bit now.
You
So-
gave me
There you go.
bourbon, so
Bourbon.
it's on.
That's a new word.
That's all right. Yep.
So, oh my god. So yeah, we're definitely going to explore this a little bit more there. So I am aware of St. Pete, being the rum guy here. I have not been to this distillery yet. There's actually a ton of distilleries in Florida, right? They have like a distillery, tour or trail that you can do.
And why? Because Florida rocks.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. So I'm
It's
really
too cool to be lumped in with the South. We are just Florida.
Got a piece of information here just in from Tracy.
Ooh, okay.
The first Gasparilla Parade was held in May 1904 after Tampa Tribune Society editor Louise Francis Dodge, one name, Tampa's director of customs, George Hardy, and decided to combine elements of New Orleans Mardi Gras with the legend of the local pirate to promote and enliven Tampa's May Day celebration.
Oh, okay.
So it's in May.
First one was
First one was in May. I guess it's in February now.
Okay.
Oh, so we don't have a whole lot of time here.
Yeah, we better start making our plans for Gasparilla Fest.
That's right. That's right. So
Ooh,
I
maybe
believe
we
we can.
maybe well.
Ooh, I'm getting an idea.
Okay,
Stand
so-
back. Hold on tight.
Here it comes.
It's gonna come out. Ah!
It's like lava.
There you go. Oh.
So
boy.
how about that herd show over the weekend?
Oh yeah.
Better the second time, right?
Yeah, for sure. What I can't get over is the paintings on the wall. You can tell it's the same. I mean, it's the same artist that did these big paintings, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. It's all women, right? You saw them, and what I thought was interesting is they all have this pose, like, yeah, that was interesting. Like none of them look.
They're totally
Yeah,
unenthused.
they're totally unenthused. It's like,
I remember you noticing that on the first show. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna look at them when I'm playing because they're not into it, man. I don't get it. But the place was pretty cool. I kind of got the back, the VIP tour, I guess, because I came in through the back door. But as I walked around, I just, you could feel the energy in that place. Like, it's old Florida.
Yes,
You know.
it is.
You can definitely feel the energy in that place, and it was pretty cool. I got to meet with the person there doing the spiritual stuff there. I can't remember the name of the shop, but it was really cool to go in there and meet with them. They were very nice people, and that's one of the things I mentioned to them. I said, you can really feel the energy in this place because, it's old Florida. It's like, it's a spiritual feeling in there, man. It's just kind of cool. So, yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, great spot. And I'm not a big proponent of ghosts and all of that. I mean,
Right.
the jury's out in my opinion, but I saw them.
They do say that place was haunted.
I saw them there. They were
How
there.
dare you?
What?
You don't like ghosts?
I didn't say I didn't like them. I
You're a
said that.
proponent of ghosts. What about when they're on the ox?
Well, that's where they belong. Is on the ox. I'm down with the ghosts on the ox, but having them bump into me while I'm trying to perform, that's not my favorite part.
Yeah.
That's why I stay out of the way.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I saw there was more people in there that were already dead than people that were still alive. I saw them. They were partying their asses off. It was actually kind of cool.
So, have you ever seen the movie Shining?
Daddy's home.
Here's Johnny.
It's been a long time, actually.
Red rum. Well, drinking red rum.
It's spiced rum.
Spiced rum. Yeah, I think that we were just recently talking about it, like even before the festival with Chris from Noxx and Dunn about the upcoming event and how Arcadia is. You want to talk about old school, right? Old Florida. If you want to get a feel for it, right down the main street there as you go through town, right? So, yeah, very much.
Standing at the edge of downtown, and you see, like the fact that they haven't ran a train on those tracks in probably 800 years. You step on it and you can hear the theme. Clint Eastwood like.
Right.
Doo-doo.
Or you're waiting for Opie and Andy to come walking around the corner. It's
Hey,
kinda-
B, we told you to stay in the car.
Oh boy.
But it's a great time. We stayed in the hotel again. Super cool hotel, haunted hotel, as a matter of fact. Apparently, the ghosts repaint the furniture every night.
Had a lot of visitors from that weren't able to make it the last time because of the hurricane and stuff. A lot of people were under what do you call it?
Underwater.
Oh, yeah, curfew.
Under curfew too. Yeah, there was a curfew. Yeah, so we had a better crowd this time because people were actually, allowed to get. They could
Allowed to
they
come
could-
see Kevin
They
McLaughlin
could physically
dance.
get out of their houses without a boat.
They're like, wait a minute. The last day of hurricane season? Sure, we should be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chances of rain are 0.
you know you've made it when they set up a curfew not to come.
Yeah. Wow.
They had to break the curfew to come see us.
I did get a letter from the mayor about the show.
Yeah.
He said, "Who are you?"
Were those guys?
Yeah, those guys. So, jump back to music here, right? Yeah. And now that we're a little bit warmed up and a little bit more looser now, right? Is what are you talked about getting into playing the trumpet and early, and then and seeing the keys, the B3 player that kind of got you into playing the keys now. But what was some of the stuff growing up that got you into, music wise? What was some of the stuff you listened to, or what were you exposed to at an early age, as far as when it comes to music?
I had a wide, area of music to work with. My father, he played a little bit of guitar, and Mississippi boy. So really he was into country music. So I kind of grew up around country music mostly. Matter of fact, so much so that I actually joined the Sailfish Cloggers when I was a kid.
You did some clogging as a kid?
I was a clogger, yes.
I want to see some film of that.
It's out there.
That's crazy. You said that with the hard R.
No, I was probably like 12, 13 years old, and I joined the Sailfish Cloggers when we represented the state of Florida at the World's Fair in Knoxville.
So not only were you a clogger, but you were a world-class clogger.
Yeah. I actually was competitive. I came in like third place world
No kidding.
champions.
Do a little quick step for us,
How
Bill.
about no?
Kevin's a world
On
class.
this carpet.
I'm going to buy you some wooden shoes or whatever it is that those guys wear.
Kevin's a world class clogger too, but for different reasons.
Yeah, my kind of clogging needs a plumber.
It's like, have you ever seen a
Don't go in the bathroom at Texas Roadhouse after him.
That's right.
mosh pit close up? This is what
EPA
it
calls and
looks
says, tape those doorways.
like. But I was exposed to country music from on my dad's side, but from my older brothers and sisters, they were hippies. That's the only way I can put it. From the 60s and 70s, the music that I listened to with them was like the Who and Yes and.
No kidding.
Boston, Asia. They were introducing me to some of the newer stuff at that time, and then also, bringing me back, to stuff like, I can't even think of all the names like Earth, Wind and Fire. Aretha Franklin. Some of the and a lot of funk too. I was digging what they were showing me, but I really didn't like Rubber Band Man. Okay, but I had to.
Yeah, that's a great tune.
Yeah, but
Da-dum.
I had to find out where that was coming from, and it took years to figure out where people were pulling a lot of their groove from, and now that I'm older and I'm listening to multiple styles of music. I find that groups like the Meters made up a lot of what was happening in music in the 70s. They were very influential to like Little Feat and things like that. Those groups were listening to what was coming out of the soul part of music. From the Meters and from out of New Orleans, out of Alabama. Muscle Shoals. A lot of the music that was coming out of there, and so some of that stuff I was exposed to mostly, but like I said, I had both sides. I was listening to country music, Allman Brothers, obviously, Molly Hatchet, and those cats as I was growing up, and then of course I had to jump over into my other faces of music that I liked, Beastie Boys, things like that. But even Beastie Boys, if you listen to some of their one of their albums, I'm trying to remember it, but they kind of did more funk stuff where they were playing their own instruments.
Like Paul's Boutique, maybe.
It might have been, but they had some really groovy songs, and the thing is, they pulled a lot of that stuff, that feel, from the Meters. So I look back now and I go, okay, I can kind of pinpoint now where I think a lot of groove was coming from at that time, who they were looking at between Jimi Hendrix and even the Neville brothers and things like Dr. John, stuff like that coming out of New Orleans. So a lot of these cats were pulling that music from there. And that's the thing is you hear mainstream, but you don't realize that they weren't the mainstream. Who was mainstream was the cats they were listening to who helped them to groove on that music.
It is always interesting listening to history in music and influences and so forth. I think we've talked, over all the podcasts and with folks about how people are influenced at this, but the listeners of maybe your music doesn't know that, hey, all these guys here, which you would have never thought of, influenced me to create my own sound or develop, right? We talk a lot about Led Zeppelin. Heavily blues influence, obviously the Delta blues, they were a huge influence, and it's always Aerosmith, and
I was lucky enough to have some really great teachers as a kid, and one of them, he's like, "Oh, you like that guitar player, huh? Well, you need to listen to who you think that's good. You need to listen to who he learned that from."
Right.
So that taught me to delve deeper into the blues, the Mississippi Delta blues, and it was the guitar players from the UK, Eric Clapton most prominently,
Beck, right?
Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour. These guys steered me to the blues tradition in my own country that I didn't even know about, and it so cool.
They were grooving on stuff that we had no idea was
Yeah.
that was going on until we understood that side of the music and that what we were doing. We were headed in the right direction. Maybe marketing wise, we just didn't get there. Some of those musicians probably would have never been heard of otherwise.
Oh yeah. Well, it happened with those guys in the '60s.
Yeah.
They revitalized American blues, and then it happened again in the '80s with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Because before those two waves of blues activity, in the 60s, like most of those 40s and 50s original artists were still alive, and they couldn't get a gig to save their lives. Right. But then all these English bands were getting on the top 40 with their songs, and then all of a sudden now they could get a gig.
Right.
And then it was the same thing with Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That's why I'm so impressed with people like Samantha Fish and Eric Giles and them coming out and bringing and keeping the blues alive, and it's just amazing what they're doing with it, and the younger people that are finding it is really making it worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you should join us in the Treasure Coast Blues Society. If you don't have a membership, you got to get one, because the mission of that is to keep the blues alive.
Yeah. Because that's what's happening is that there's these groups that are bringing it back, keeping it alive. Younger people, it blows my mind to see someone who's like 16, 17 years old, grooving on a tune that they have no idea was written back in 1945. But this person just brought it back out, and they're just like, "Whoa, that's so funky, man! I take that."
I think it's like it's if you're influence somebody like in that example there, somebody younger generation, it learned about that style, that tone, that groove from this band here, but then has no idea again that it was like this goes even further back. So I mean, I'm always fascinated by the musical history about, we've talked about the drummers in the aspect of Bonham was influenced by this guy and then this guy and this guy and so forth. But so Bill, let me real quick and ask you. So, we have got a segment here in the show here called Tales from the Road. So, do you got any good stories from the road, a gig? Maybe they heard Opera House, he fell off the balcony, or a ghost pushed him off the stage or something. I don't know. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I like that laugh though.
Well, so far, fortunately, things have been rather uneventful for most of our gigs. You know what I'm saying? Everything's been coming together well.
You better knock on wood now.
Oh,
Right?
exactly right. Because we've been,
Yeah, don't do that to us, man.
yeah, I was like, just coming around that one. But what I'm thinking is that man, this whiskey's hitting, buddy.
It is.
Woo, Doug.
It's good stuff.
You know what you just witnessed right there? That was a brain cell saying goodbye. It just left.
This is good blurbing.
Yeah, it's just like as you were trying to access it, it just went.
Ooh, it said bye.
I had a thought, but goodbye.
Yeah, see you later.
I've had that happen to me.
No, but what for myself, Tales on the Road. This actually happened to me when I was playing in the United States Army Band. We went and played on the stage, same stage in Monterey, California that Jimi Hendrix burned his guitar on. Like the spot was still there on the stage. You're not allowed to walk on it, right? It's
So
like,
cool.
like you really want to touch it. Like I wanted to touch it, you know, but I was like, nah, I better not. Okay, I'll get in trouble. But playing with the Army Band, I played the trumpet. And on stage, a lot of times the horn players would be up on stands, or what they call
Like a riser or something.
risers. Yeah. Well, the trumpet section, we were on the top riser, and we were playing a song called "Scream Machine" by Maynard Ferguson. So if you know anything about Maynard Ferguson, you know why they called it "Scream Machine," because this guy could go up in the upper registers that would, you know, just drop airplanes out of the sky. So at the end of the song, there's like this super screaming high note that I had to hold, and the band director was like, "Hey, just hold it out for like a second more." After the band quits, like the band goes pow, and you go yeah, and just still have the scream going on, right? I was like, okay, I can do that, you know. This is when I had all my stamina, and I was wailing this note, I was killing it at the end, man. And the band stopped, and I went, scow! And right when I got done, man, everything went black. And I went off the back side of the risers. And behind me, and behind the stands, was all the cases for the band. Tuba cases, trombone cases, drum cases, and I landed on them all. I mean, blam! So my next memory is opening up my eyes, and my commander standing there over me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I think so." He was like, come here. So he puts his hand out and he lifts me up and he says, "Okay, can you walk?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." He goes, "All right, I want you to come with me. Walk around. Follow me." So I followed him, and I followed him around to the front of the stage. And it was a standing ovation. The crowd was losing it, man. And I was like, so all my life, and I'm glad I'm saying this now on this podcast, if anyone out there has a video of me taking a dive off the back of that stand, I sure would love to see that again.
What? Oh man, what happened to your horn?
It landed on my chest. Didn't even hurt it.
Oh, soft landing then.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Soft landing.
Well, you were in the Army back then. You probably weighed like 135 pounds.
Yeah, I was like solid, man. So it was no problem, you know.
Yeah.
But then on the ride home on the bus, this is how I ended up with this nickname. They gave me the nickname Biff because that was the sound I made when I fell off the back of the stage.
So the last breath of consciousness went through your horn and went, Biff.
Biff.
Oh Oh man, that's
Oh man!
great.
So then you were labeled Biff,
Oh yeah, for the rest of the time.
Lieutenant Biff.
So
Oh,
you
I'll
were
never forget
you were
that.
now the second most influential thing that happened on that stage. Then after burning your guitar into the into the
Yes,
stage.
there's going to be a Biff impact mark behind the risers. Look, you can see the insignia from his army belt. It just hit the cement just right.
Here lies Biff.
Yeah, see those
Oh, my
those
God.
two indentations. No, that was level when they poured it. Yeah, chalk mark, big Biff mark. You can't touch the Biff mark.
So don't push Bill too far on your stage. Then we know what may happen.
Well, I'll encourage him to breathe while he's playing the piano.
Okay, that'd be a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, all the oxygen went out of that horn.
Yeah, we'll be. I'll be over on the other side of the stage, and all of a sudden I hear one note going beep, and Bill will be laying on his keyboard.
It'll be great now when you reference him on stage. Refer to him as Biff.
Biff.
The rest of the guys won't know who you're talking about, right?
Biff Bedwell.
Oh my God, that's great. That's a great story. So what? So we can go. So Devin can go scour the internet. So what year are we talking about here?
See, 1991.
There you go.
Ooh,
All right, so-
1991 Biff note.
Yeah, so
At
there-
what
there you go.
theater?
It was at the Calamari Fest.
Oh,
Calamari Fest
oh.
at Monterey Amphitheater.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh my!
1991.
There's going to be a whole dark web
That's right.
channel
Yeah,
about it.
he's got other search engines he uses actually.
He's got half of the underground web is like
Yes.
he's their idol.
Someone's
For
got to
sure.
have that video out there.
Oh yeah.
man. If it didn't make it onto like America's Funniest Home Videos, I don't know, man. 'Cause
I could just see it, and then cases flying up around you as you land.
like I don't know if I went stiff as a board or did I just fumble down. I don't even remember at that point. I just remember going blah blah blam.
So you played a high note until you went unconscious.
That's it. That is being dedicated.
That's
to your
serious.
craft.
He asphyxiated himself.
That's right.
You got to get a Biff net for the stage.
Like a stunt guy, right?
yeah, Biff, inflatable Biff landing pad there.
So I've shared similar. As like I almost went off the back of the stage, in a gig I played because there was no lip on the back of the stage for the drum seat or whatnot, and I had people holding me up. So luckily I didn't end up like you,
Out of there.
ass over tea kettle.
Yeah.
So, so real quick though, Bill also is. Do you have somebody who you want to give a shout out here, like MVP, somebody who you want to recognize, who's maybe given you a music start or who's helped you out, something in that kind of sense?
Someone important in your musical life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Besides the cases of all the gear.
Yeah, it saved you from a broken hip.
Sure. Actually, I'd like to get a shout out to Ada-Nicole Sanger. Matter of fact, hopefully, I can talk her into doing one of the podcasts with you. So we'll see what happens. Ada-Nicole Sanger, if you look her up, she was a young girl who played in the movies Grown Ups 1 and 2. She played Kevin James' daughter.
Okay.
She was Donna, and so she was in that movie 1 and 2. She's prodigy of Adam Sandler, and right now, the reason why I'm giving her a shout out is because I'm working with her as a co-songwriter, and she just released her second album, and it, like, I'm gonna say 2 months, it's already hit 2 million streams.
Oh wow.
So so it's doing rather well, and we're going to be releasing a third album coming up, I believe, in February, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe sooner. Depends on how quickly things move. But she's been in the studio for quite some time, and how this came about is she was working on her second album and wanted to put some horn parts in, and was talking to one of the neighbors. They knew about me that I from a jam that they saw me at, and next thing you know is I get a phone call and I hear this gruffly voice, and it's her song writing partner, and his name was Dan Kidney. And the reason why I say was Dan Kidney because Dan Kidney, he passed away. But he was known back in the day for he had a punk band up in New York called Dan Kidney and the Pulsations, and he actually helped start the band with Dr. Chud, which is the band The Misfits.
Yeah, yeah.
So the drummer for The Misfits was Dan Kidney's friend, and we recently recorded with him. And
Wow.
So one of his songs is going to also be on that third album.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's local. She's local then.
She is local. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She lives here. She lives in Connecticut as well, and she basically took time off from L.A. So
Okay.
she's serious about writing music, and man, she's got a really an excellent talent for writing. So I'm helping her out with doing that, and yeah. So
Very cool. So again,
Ada-Nicole Sanger,
Sanger. Okay.
Sanger.
Okay. Very wow. And
She's a singer.
Sanger.
and a lot of Adam Sandler movies are very much music. If you want to talk about somebody who's figured out how to make the connection of your movies and songs and so forth. I mean, every movie he's got, there's a great soundtrack that goes with it, right? Music he grew up with, right?
His music producer works very closely with Ada.
Okay.
Listens to everything that she puts out, and so so what are the chances it could happen? Well, pretty good.
So we may see Bill in Grown Ups 3, you think? He could be Kevin James's brother, maybe. Yeah, I think, right?
He'll
Yeah.
get songwriting credits for the outro song.
That's right, yeah.
We could work on it.
For sure. So awesome, yeah.
That's very
All
cool.
right, very cool.
Where are we at here? We got.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what? This
yeah.
has been flying by, man.
Yes.
Will you want to come back next week and hang out with us?
Sure, man. Yeah.
We got a lot more stories and a lot more to talk about.
Right.
And a lot
Great
more bourbon. Bourbon.
There's bourbon left. We gotta. We
Bourbon.
can fix that.
Yeah. Old St. Pete bourbon. I like it. Like it a lot.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Wait till the
Good
episode.
stuff.
Wait till next week, folks. So for sure.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of housekeeping before we wrap some things up.
Well,
here,
we
right?
have
Yeah.
to mention the fact that I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yes.
And now that we're in December, the holiday season is upon us, and so we'll see you before whatever it is that you that whatever you celebrate. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and
The Festivus for the rest
all
of
the
us.
above.
Real
are
ones
good
know.
things.
Real ones know.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back next week and do this again.
Yep. So quick shout out there too is this coming weekend here on December 6th is the drum review. They were one of our venue
That's
vendors there,
right. And
So-
we got wheel call tickets waiting for us.
That's
there.
right. So we that is a cool event. There is down at the Kravis Center is it's like a Blue Man Group meets Stomp. They're local musicians.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
It's a family friendly event. So he does. So Todd was at the festival. He was one of our vendors there checking out. So he's trying to do something. He's trying to put something together, right? So this is the whole thing about how do we all kind of work together? How do we all lift each other up? So. He's a super cool dude, great musician, local musician, high school kids that do the drumline stuff, and they've always have something that they keep a little bit under wraps, so they don't kind of share too much. So we had a great time the last time we saw the event. So I can't wait to go check that out there. So December 6th there. So get your tickets at the drumreview.com, DRUMREVUE.com, Kravis Center if you're in West Palm. So go check it out. So again, support these are the arts, I guess, is really the big thing about it too. So
we need to close this out with a toast here.
yes, that's
Can't
right.
Do that with an
That's
empty
right.
glass.
So I'm gonna go ahead and hold
Put
on.
a sip in there.
Let me try a
Oh,
little
you're
bit.
gonna try
I'm
some
gonna
of
try
this?
that little bourbon.
Oh, a little bourbon.
There we go. Ooh,
That cures what ails you. I tell you
that's
what.
right. Get you some.
Get you some. So we are Kevin McLaughlin, and
Paul Robertson.
are you sure?
I know there's a little pause there.
All
I
right,
had to
yeah.
think about it.
And this is the Riffs and
Rhythms podcast. So we thank you for joining in. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, join all our stuff. Yeah, this is what it grows. How to help us grow there. Check out YouTube. Check out Apple Podcasts on the B3 Podcast Network. Don't forget also, quick shout out here, coming out here this week as well. The Jams and Cocktails show is back this week. With
featuring Vern Dazel and the Burning Breeze. That's right. That's tomorrow.
That's right. Don't forget, you got work to do tomorrow
I
night.
do.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Yeah, you got to run some sound.
Yeah, that's how that whole thing started with Vern.
So definitely check out tomorrow's show there, Jams Cocktails on YouTube, 8 p.m.
Remind me to tell that story next week because that's a pretty good one.
Yep. So yeah, again, this is all about a B3 podcast. And I don't want to, also give a shout out here to Devin here, not behind the camera, but holding things down. The ghost on the aux there. Hey, when we gonna do this Christmas ghost Christmas?
Christmas Ghost on the Ox, Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Soon.
Okay, we'll get back to you.
Sometime before Christmas.
Okay, yeah,
Sometime
hopefully,
before, sometime before Christmas. Or knowing me, maybe it'd be after.
Oh yeah, there you go. You get a jump on it for 25.
There you go. Yeah, let's tape it like in January for later in the year.
So while we still can, we have dubbed this year 24 the year of more. So we wish all of you more and more and more.
Cheers.